Hey there, welcome to Hermit Haven. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jackie. We're so excited to invite you into our safe space. Hermit Haven is like a cozy little hideout where we can celebrate being confident in ourselves as we find happiness in quiet moments.
So grab your favorite blanket and your favorite drink, and let's dive into today's episode.
Hi, I'm Jackie. Welcome back to Hermit Haven.
Hi, I'm Ashley. We're so excited to have you this week. This week, we're going to be chatting about, well, let me go into it. So, do you ever feel like when you're starting to become her, or you're starting a new habit, or you're really like feeling confident where you're at, and all of a sudden, like something triggers you, maybe an old habit comes back, like something really just sets you back or sets your mind to even want to go back? That's what we're talking today, is when those like things kind of resurface and you're like, do I follow the rabbit hole back to where I was, or do I keep going forward, and how do I go forward?
Yeah, I love this topic so much because I think that this is the thing that stops people from truly like changing in a positive way, from making the change that they want to make, but they think that they can't make it. So it's like you start off and you have this amazing idea of like this new identity or these awesome habits, and you're like, this is it. Like this is it. I'm doing it right now. And then you start doing it, you're so excited, you got the dopamine going, and you realize like it's not as easy as you thought it would be, or it's not as glamorized. I think sometimes like on social media we're like, look at these girls with these like beautiful morning routines, and they're like journaling, and it looks so like, romanticized, which we could still romanticize our lives, don't get me wrong, but I think when you're actually doing it in real life, you realize like, oh, this is a little different than I thought it would be. And then you're like, well, maybe I can't do this because, I didn't get up when I said I would, or I blew up my kids even though I told them I was going to be patient. And like these things that you want to do, you messed up. And then we think, oh, well, I messed up, so therefore I can't do it. And then you just like scrap the whole thing. I think this happens so many times. We used to see it when Ashley and I used to do network marketing, and people would come in and immediately, like the first rejection they would get, they'd be like, oh, this isn't for me. See, like, can't do it. And I'm like, wait, like, wait a second. Like, obstacles are going to happen. Obstacles are going to happen. And we do it to ourselves. It's like we like self sabotage. We just like naturally do it because you're so used to who you were. You're so used to the habits that you had. You're so comfortable where you were, uncomfortable. Like you don't want to be there, but it's like a safety thing. And so as soon as you hit like a roadblock, you're like, wait, maybe I can't. And that is what we want to talk about today. When you hit those roadblocks, like when you feel yourself falling backwards, like we want to talk through that right now because we get that too. Like, yes, absolutely happens to us all the time. And I just think this is like the topic that you can help yourself push through to like that next level of yourself is like this.
I feel like too, sometimes like you don't even realize you're going backwards. Like
Yeah.
everything else is aligning, right? You're doing so good everywhere else. Like all like you don't realize like one habit is still there sometimes. And I think that's about like part of it too. Like for example, my goal has been going for a walk with Ari. Obviously we need to get out of this house. Like no one wants to be in the house every single day. And we live in gloomy Washington where it rains like 40,000 times a day, all day sometimes. And it's just not practical for us to go outside, right? And so then when it is sunny, it's like, well, I haven't been outside in so many days. I don't really want to get dressed and go outside. And so like today, I literally like he was already dressed. I was like, I just need to throw on clothes. Like I wasn't dressed yet. I was like, I'm just gonna throw on clothes and we're just gonna leave. Like
Yeah.
we're just gonna walk down the street to the park. Like we're just gonna leave. And it felt good, right? It was like a reminder. Oh wait, I need to like rebuild this in my schedule when it's sunny. Like I need to make sure I wake up and be like, oh, it's today gonna be sunnier. Let me put a walk in my day because we don't usually have walk days.
Yeah. It's like sometimes a little bit of just pushing through. Like
Yeah.
pushing through when you feel like, ugh, I don't want to go do that workout. I don't want to do that thing. Like I don't want to whatever, go get dressed and like leave my house. I don't want to people. Like, but sometimes you just have to push yourself a little bit. Even if you, and Ashley tells me this all the time, like even if you just do it for a little bit, like even if you just do it for 15 minutes or 5 minutes, like I think about that all the time when I'm like, "Ugh, I don't feel like sitting and like doing whatever it is." And I'm like, okay, just try for 15 minutes. Just set a little timer, set a 5 minute timer and just see. And by the time you start doing it, you get in a flow and you're like, oh, okay, I'll just do a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like
It's so
that's
true
a game
though.
changer.
Sometimes
Yeah.
you need to like trick yourself almost, like trick your brain, set yourself up for success in that way to like move forward. But you know, what we're really talking about here too is, I don't know, like we're not perfect. No one's perfect, right? Like it's just is what it is. We're all working on different things. We're all working on different habits, different routines, different things we want, different things we're setting up for the future. And it could be anything that can be bringing you back, right? It could be a behavior, it could be a thought, it could be a feeling. And I think sometimes we don't realize that is happening. So even before you push yourself to like want more, almost, you have to first see, hey, is everything I'm doing aligning with who I want to be, with the goals I set? And if you don't even know what goals and what you align, then you need to go back and figure out who you are, because that's part of it, right? Because if you don't know who you are, then these habits will continue sneaking up because you didn't realize that these were things you did not like about yourself.
Yeah. I something that I learned about myself last year is that I use food as like a coping mechanism. And I know a lot of people do this and they probably just don't even realize it, because I didn't realize it. I wasn't like I was like super overweight or anything. I just realized like if I'm sad, then I want to go munch on something. Or if I'm bored, then I want to go like munch on something. And it's more the feeling that makes me want to do it than me actually being hungry. I'm not hungry. I just like want to go do it because I'm whatever, it's a feeling, it's an emotion. And so once I realized, like, first kind of like realizing that you have that specific thing, and then I wanted to change it and I wanted to replace it. And so I had to figure out, what am I going to replace it with? Okay, I can go journal. I can go just put stickers on a page. Like, I can go paint something that makes me feel good, because that's what I'm looking for, right? Like, you're looking to feel
Mhm.
good in that moment.
Yeah.
And I also like have to like, so I have to like pause and remind myself like, okay, that's what I used to do, but I don't want to do that anymore. So what am I going to do instead? And why? Like, why am I doing this? Why am I changing? And so I try to remember that too. Like, I don't want to fill this void with food that isn't helping my body. It's not making me feel good. Like, why do I keep doing it? I need to switch it and do this instead. And sometimes it's like pausing. Okay, how can I change it? And then pushing yourself away from the cabinet to go find a healthier way. And it's like that's the process. And it's like to do that for everything. And it can feel like really exhausting too. Like, I don't feel like, you know, going and doing whatever. Like, I just want to sit here and eat my potato chips,
Literally,
you
that's
know?
the worst when I'm like scrolling, especially scrolling. You're like, I don't want to go do my laundry. I don't want to do dishes. This seems more fun.
Yeah, exactly. Especially scrolling. Oh yeah. I'll be like, I'm just gonna lay down for a few minutes. I've earned it. But like, is that really how I want
Yeah.
to pay
That is,
myself?
that's the biggest like that's the biggest excuse I use too. Oh, I totally deserve 15 minutes of scrolling.
Yeah. And like, nothing wrong with scrolling. Like, there is a time and place. I get so many good ideas on there. Like, great. But I heard someone say this once, and I think you can kind of use it in this specific instance where you're
Mhm.
trying to like get rid of a habit and like, continue on with the good one. Is like, so it was with food. Just I happened to be watching a video, and someone was like, "You're not a dog. Stop giving yourself a treat. Like, you don't need to feed yourself a treat for like a
I know.
good job."
It's
And I was like, ugh.
I will tell you, okay, so as a childcare provider, I try so hard to teach that the reward is your confidence that you're able to do it. And
Mhm.
I've been breaking this bad habit because I was taught since I was a kid, oh, I did something like go to the doctors. Like, even as my pregnancy, literally my entire pregnancy was like, oh, I went to the doctors, I get Starbucks. Like, right? Like, and
Well,
why? Like, why is that the treat? Because that's how my brain is wired. And it's so true, right? So I love that like idea, like about the treat thing.
yeah, it's so funny. You just made me think. After I get done with the dentist, do you know what they have sitting there as you're walking out? And they offer, like, they speak it to you. They're like, "Oh, do you want a cookie?" I'm like, "You're a dentist's office." Like, it's very sweet. It's very sweet, but I think it's hilarious every time. To be fair, I've never taken the cookie, but yeah, I just think, when your body like wants to go back to your old habits, it's like it feels comfortable. That's really all it is. It's just like your body is just like, but this is what we're used to. And that's great, but like, is that who you want to be? is the person that's used to those things, whether it's like a mindset, a physical habit, like whatever it is, this person, is that who you want to be? No, because you already know that like you're trying to get to the next level, right? And so in order to be someone different, you have to do something different. I think about that quote all the time. In order to and I don't think it's a little bit different than that from whatever I heard, but it's so true. Like you have to do something different. And like to do that, it's like you have to stop yourself and take a pause and think about why. Why do I want to change? Why do I want to be
Yeah.
more patient? Why do I want to not snack anymore? Like, why am I doing these things? And then that reason is an emotional reason. And you have to be like, okay, now what can I do to replace that and find, that healthy replacement? Like, it's hard though.
I think too, okay, so like this episode is not like about finding the habits. It's not about finding the things. This is when you're in the flow, right? I think
Right.
that's the statement of 2016 when you're in a
Yeah.
flow
Yeah.
state, right? This is
Yeah.
when you're in the flow. You're
You're doing it.
doing the thing, right? You're so into it, right? You're like running down the street and then all of a sudden like that thing creeps back up. Like and sometimes it's something is the season, right? It's the season that ate you up, swallowed you whole and you forgot who you were because you gave so much to everyone else. Or like for example, Ari and I just had like a 10-day whatever it was to North Carolina and Virginia, and then we came back and my father-in-law was here and now we have like 3 weeks until Matt's off for a week for his birthday. Like there is obviously no calm, right? But like it's learning to adapt. Okay, last season was busy and I think I didn't realize how busy. I was like, oh, I can handle it. I can totally handle it. No, let me be honest. I think I got home and I wiped and I was sick and he was sick and I was wiped. I think I just like touched out, tapped out.
Yeah.
And so I said we're starting to plan Ari's birthday coming up in April and I'm going to go back and visit my parents in the beginning of April for Passover. And I literally said to my mother-in-law, I said, look, I cannot do the birthday party earlier for him because we're going to do his birthday party. I don't really know who's going to be there yet or anything. I was like, this is the day I want to do his birthday party because I'm going to Virginia. I need time in between seeing everybody. Like, I'm not going to and I think that's sometimes what it is, right? And I think too, where I'm going with this too, is it's realizing what happened that brought you back and then trying to set yourself up for success next time you might be in that situation. But also, guess what? My suitcase is still sitting in the middle of the hallway. My toiletry bag is still sitting near the windowsill, right? So did I set myself up for success when I came back? No, I'm falling back in old habits, right? Like we haven't gone for a walk. I haven't been like able to do my nightly routine the way I was doing it, right? Like it's truly thinking about, okay, I am trying to become her. I'm trying to become this person. I'm trying to reach these goals, however you want to state it, right? If I want to be calmer, I want to be healthier, I want to be more patient, whatever like you're trying to do, it's then really being mindful and saying, I can't do it all, but what can I do? And how can I set myself up for success? And maybe in this situation, right? Like, like a shopaholic wouldn't go to the mall, right, with their friends to hang out if they're trying not to shop, right? Like it's the same type of situation. You have to keep putting yourself in successful places if you
Yeah.
want to continue to be successful. And when those habits come up and those things that you don't want to come up, creep back in. And it might take you 2 weeks to realize, and it might take you a month to realize, and it might take you 2 months. And then you might be even more back than where you were, right? Because you didn't realize that this one habit, or it could have been 40 habits creeped up, right? Whatever it is, it's okay. It's okay. It happens. It happens to all of us, right? But it's your job in any situation, doesn't matter if it's this situation, whatever the situation is to say, what went wrong? What could I have done differently? How can I turn this around? How can I move forward, right? And that's truly where we're at, right? Like, okay, whatever it is, how can we move forward?
Yeah. A huge takeaway from this episode that I want everyone to know, because I think, we all think like, oh, I just can't do it, or like something's wrong with me. And like, we're all the same. Every single person you see on social media, I don't care how fit they are, or what they're doing, like what their amazing routines are with their kids, and they're doing all the things, they all fall backwards. Like they all have obstacles in life. Like you're always going to have an obstacle. And so there's just no way that you can be perfect all the time. None of us are. And so if that's what like holds you back is like, oh, well, I messed up, so therefore I just have to like quit or whatever, like just realize that we all do it. And so you're definitely not alone. One just came in, like maybe lose my train of thought. There was something else I wanted to say that was so important. Yeah, I love him now. Husband.
It's okay.
Um,
It'll
ah,
come.
I don't know. Anyway, oh, I wanted to say to speak nicely to yourself and don't like don't tell yourself like, "Oh, I suck," or "I can't do it." Like stop saying those things about yourself because this is what I want to say. Every single time, like Ashley said, that you decide, "Okay, I slipped up, like I made a little mistake. We all make mistakes, right? We tell our kids all the time, it's okay, it's a mistake. Like we're adults, we still make mistakes, like we don't change. Every time you make a mistake and you decide like, okay, didn't work out that time, I'm going to pick up and do it again. Every single time you do that, your brain starts to rewire and starts to say, okay, you don't do this, like you, whatever the thing is that you didn't want to do, you do this because last time that you did that, you decided to do this. Like, do you know, does that make sense? Like your brain rewires every single time that you choose to go forward into the person that you want to be, or, you know, whatever it is, the habit, like every time that you have that obstacle and you decide to keep going forward, your brain starts to realize like, okay, yeah, this is what we want to do. And it gets easier and easier and easier. So yeah, I don't know. I just think it's so important, like this
Yeah.
topic, because people just they start and they're so good. And getting sick is a huge one that throws you off
Mhm.
so much, and the holidays too, but like seasons where it's so busy, that happens to everyone. It's okay. Like I, was doing so well with my weights, doing my strength training, and then for like a month I did it, and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna start this week, and then I got sick, and then I was like, I'm gonna start this week, and I had like a huge headache for like 3 days. Like it just happens. I'm not gonna be like Jackie, you're terrible. Like who cares? Like I'll pick up and try again. Like I'm just gonna keep going. That's the most important part is that you're continuing on, right?
I think too, in this situation, you can go like you can figure out that like, hey, okay, like this isn't working how I want it to work. Like I don't know what happened, right? And then you can be really mad at yourself, almost like hate yourself for what happened, right? Like, which is a terrible, terrible reaction, right? Like we should never ever feel bad. We should never feel guilty because we couldn't live up to the hype that we thought we could live up to. Like in our heads, and I think that's a powerful thing right there alone. Like if you believe you're superwoman, that's powerful alone. Like you should believe you're superwoman. You should believe you can show up like that. But you also then have to give yourself grace when you don't, when you try hard enough and you fail. And
Yeah.
it's not failure because you tried. It's failure because in your eyes you didn't meet your expectations that you put on yourself that you did not need,
Yeah.
right? Like we don't need, and so then what happens a lot of times is when you feel that you failed, you don't want to continue doing whatever you were doing. Like if you
Yeah.
were reading a book, let's say every month you were reading a new book, right? And this month you went away to your sisters and you and your sister were having so much fun, you never read a page and you got behind your reading for the month and you don't think you're going to complete it. So now you're just going to give up. Well, what about the other 5 other months you read in, right? Like just because
Yeah.
you missed 1 month doesn't mean you just give up, right? You agree?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can
Like,
always just pause and like ask yourself, like, you can always just stop whatever you're doing and saying, is this aligning with where I want to go and what I want to do?
yeah.
Like, no matter what it is, you can always just pause and be like, is what I'm doing right now, eating this bag of goldfish that's, is that aligning with the person that I want to be and my goals that I have? Like, is it? And it's okay if it's not. It's okay. But you get to decide. You get to decide and you get to move on however you are ready to move on. And yeah.
I think too, like it's also the fact is why do you believe that you did not reach your goal just because the circumstances changed in your life, like what season you're in, or like your plans changed from what your original goal was, why can't you just change your goal or adapt it, right? Or if it's
Yeah.
not the goal, if it's who you're becoming, right? Or if it's, maybe it's your vision board. Like, what if your vision board came true already? Like, right? Then why are you not making a new vision board, right? Like just because we're in the middle of 2026 in this scenario, why are you not making a new one, right? I think that's the problem too, is we feel that we create a system or a rule or like, I don't know, a quote or a mantra or something in our head and we can't break it. We can't
Hmm.
lie to ourselves. We can't like,
Yeah.
reestablish what it is, right? And I think that's sometimes what it is too. Like we need to break these barriers because that's the reason why you're probably not noticing that you're going backwards, right? Is because you're so on this path to follow what the original rule was. But in reality, you change so much. This baby changes so much in literally a month. Like we don't realize as adults how much we change because we look the same, we wake up, we eat the same foods, we do the same things, right?
Yeah.
But we are changing just as much as this baby's changing every month, right? Like maybe not as dramatic, right? We're not seeing the changes as dramatic as him changing, but as a person, you're changing every month because you're experiencing life every single day, 24 hours per day.
Yeah.
And so the fact is that you believe what you set yourself up to be and who you were going to be 6 months ago is the same person you were going to be now. It's not. And that's the beauty of it. So really, it's not you're falling backwards, is that you didn't set yourself up for success to move forward.
Yeah, I think also, like, those little, like, failures, as we call them, like, they're a good thing because sometimes they teach us, like, maybe I need to try a different way. Maybe I need to set a different goal. Like, maybe I thought I wanted this because I see everyone else wanting it, but, like, maybe it's not really what I want when I try it out, like, and that's okay too. Not because you're not good at it, just because you just decided, like, I don't know, it just doesn't like, I don't know, like, maybe, you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna be a Pilates princess," and then you try Pilates and you're like, "This isn't very fun." Like, my sister absolutely loves going to a gym where it's, like, a group of people, and she thrives, and she loves the community, and she loves it, and I love that for her, but I will tell you, I love being at my house doing weights. I love doing weights here. I have my walking pad. I do love walking outside, but like I love walking here. I love putting Harry Potter on my TV and having a cozy strength training session. And I have all sorts of different dumbbells so I can get a really good workout. But like, so you just have to figure it out. Maybe I would go to a gym and be like, ooh, I don't know. I don't love being around all these people. So I'm going to get some weights and do it at home. Like, but sometimes you have to try things out in order to know which path, like they all still lead to the same goal,
Yeah.
but you have to just try to figure out like which path do I want to take to that goal because it could be completely different from someone else's and it probably will be because you're different people.
I think too, like, as like
Mhm.
we talk all the time about schedules and like what's going to work best, and like me and Jackie obviously have different way we're going to plan it, right? There's different planning systems. I think that right there alone, right, is when you're following a template, you're following the idea of what someone else told you, right? Then how can you then find where you're supposed to be, right? Where do you align, right? So
Yeah.
sometimes maybe what's triggering you, right? And you're falling into this, I don't know, per se backwards. Maybe it's not you're falling backwards. Maybe because you are looking at someone else's grass. Now you're comparing and you're like, I'm not where I need to be, right? Or this isn't where I wanted to be. Or someone said something, right? Or you're like, my original goal I made with this person in mind, but that person's not in my life anymore,
Yeah.
right? I think that's sometimes part of it too, is we don't realize that like we do stuff for other people. We do stuff because there's other people involved, right? And so maybe it's not you're going backwards, whatever you're working on. Maybe that because you had someone else involved in what you originally were doing here. If it's a goal, if it's a habit, right? You can use this scenario, this episode in any scenario, right? Then you definitely need to sit down and realign. Again, everything you do needs to start with you. When you start pouring into you, you start pouring into others and everything around you. And so if you start feeling like something's shifting in me, something's not feeling good, like is this something like I want to? Is this a good shift or is this a bad shift?
Mhm. Yeah, because sometimes it feels uncomfortable, and that's it gets like it's going to. Something you have to know though, whether it's like, okay, it's uncomfortable, but I'm going in the right direction, or it's uncomfortable, I need to switch paths, if that makes sense. And it doesn't mean because you can't get there because it feels uncomfortable. It just means like may not be the right path. But it's gonna feel a little uncomfortable when you're trying to do something that you haven't done before.
Yeah.
Like, just know that.
I
Yeah.
think too, it's about being honest then with yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like it's having maybe a discussion with yourself in your head, journaling it, right? Like really discussing, okay, what is my other option then? Like, is
Yeah.
there another option? And I think sometimes that's really the question, like the problem is like we don't see other options. We don't see that, like, I don't know, like this could be different. Maybe if I just took 3 minutes from here, right, and gave that 3 minutes to this thing, then maybe I can then give myself more time to do this in the morning, right? And I think just things like that, like maybe your goal is to wake up earlier, and let's be honest, it's just not happening, right? Maybe then you have to go reverse and be like, maybe I need to, go to bed 5 minutes earlier. Maybe then I have to end dinner 5 minutes earlier. Like it's really like playing with everything and kind of just seeing where it is. Like I feel like sometimes like I'll even just like brain dump, like take a blank piece of paper and just like write words and then
Yeah.
like find connections to those words, right? Like I don't
Yeah.
know. And I love this idea of this episode too, because again, this is something that really can like play in any scenario. So if you're trying to become her, if you have a goal, if you're sitting there beginning of the year and you're like, I don't like who I was last year, like I still don't know what I want to do this year, then
Yeah.
like this is the perfect episode because this really is aligning with realigning with like really who you're becoming and not falling for that like path of backwardsness. Like it's like that shortcut, like you're playing Candyland and there's that shortcut you randomly get once in a while, right? Do you take the shortcut? Like are you gonna get, or is it gonna get you past where you're going, right? Like, or is it gonna take you backwards, right? Like, so I don't know if
Can
it's
I check?
Candyland. I think I'm doing shoots and ladders, but
Shoots and ladders. Well, can yeah, can you?
no,
Yeah,
Candyland will take you where you need to go. Shoots and ladders might not.
yeah. Can I give myself a shout out? I think it was the last episode that I said how much I disliked making the lunches, and you were
Mm-hmm.
like, change your mindset. So the other night I lit a camp. Like it was like late, and I get tired, but it's fine. I was like, you know what? I need to make the lunches tonight. I will feel so much better tomorrow. So I lit a candle. It was like a cozy, soft lighting. And I was like, oh, this is kind of nice. I probably should have put on some music too, some like spa music, and just felt like I was like having an experience. And I made the lunches, and I was like, okay, I just need to sometimes change things up a little bit in order to, do the things that I know I want to do. Like it makes my morning so much easier to have the lunches done. So
Yeah.
why not do them?
Sometimes you just gotta push. I think too, it's setting yourself up for success, right? So like it wasn't working in the morning. It was just becoming a stressful mess, right? Because you're trying to take care of yourself. You're trying to give yourself me time. You're trying to take care of the boys. You're half asleep. Let's be honest. Like no one in the morning is awake as soon as you jump out of bed. If you are, like, please tell me your secret at this point because I have never figured out that secret. Like I think the one time I jump out of bed, it's like 4 in the morning and I'm like, am I even up? What am I doing up at 4 in the morning? But right, but it's again, right? Maybe and then maybe next time you try to go do that, it's not going to work because you're exhausted because you just took the kids to swim, right?
Could be.
And
Yeah,
that's the
probably.
right, and that's the thing though, right? It's adjusting to the day sometimes, right?
Yeah.
It's not having a perfect recipe every time, right? It's saying, okay, I might need to add a little bit more flour because my dough's a little wet, or adding a little bit more water because my dough is a little dry, right? There's not a perfect science, and there's never going to be a perfect science. But what's great is that you're a human being that has the ability to adapt to your surroundings and make it work. And that's the thing is at the end of the day, if it's not working for you, then it's not working for anyone around you and no one's going to be happy. You're not going to be happy. And so finding what works is so important. So taking the steps saying, what am I feeling right now? Right? Okay, well, my feelings come from my thoughts. Do I need to work on my thoughts? How can I work on my thoughts? Maybe there's a book. Maybe there's a podcast. Maybe there's a YouTube video. Maybe there's a friend I can call. Maybe there's a mentor I can call. Maybe I need to go take a class on something, right? Okay, now that I worked my thoughts and my thoughts are in a better place, oh wow, my feelings are changing. Wow. Okay, now how do I truly want to take this situation that I have in my hands and move forward? Okay, would this be the best plan? Let me jot down some notes. Would that be the best plan? Let me call my bestie, right? And sometimes it does take time and it's going to be a process like that. And sometimes it's just, maybe I should just, instead of having swim on Thursday when it's already busy, I'm just going to have swim on Wednesday and I'm going to feel less stressed, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's literally just pulling the plug and making that decision, right? And I think none of that, it doesn't matter if it's going to take you 2 months to get to back to where you need to be or 2 minutes because you pulled the plug and you decided just to make that decision, right? Like it does not matter. it's about doing what's right for you and taking care of you and realigning your mind when those old patterns do resurface.
Yes. Love it. I love this episode so much. I just think like realigning and just like asking yourself, like, is this what I want? Is this what I want really for myself? Like, is this who I want to be? It's such a simple little question and you can do it anywhere about anything. And it's just so easy to be like, yes, it is, or like, no, okay, how can I do it differently? Like it's just that easy. And I think we just make it so hard.
We do. And I think too, like, and sometimes again, and I think this is one of those things where you might need to do this on your own, or you might need an accountability buddy and be like, hey, can you
Mhm.
call me out when you see this pattern resurface because I'm not noticing it, but it's dragging me along, it's triggering me, it's bringing me down, right? Or maybe you need to put sticky notes somewhere. Every time you go look in the mirror, you talk negative about yourself, and that's a habit you're trying to break, and you just can't get there. So maybe you need to put sticky notes reminding yourself how amazing you are, how beautiful you are. Or maybe, every night, like me, I really don't want to do the dishes. Maybe I need to like put a sticky note like saying like, well, my day will be better tomorrow. Just do your dishes, Ashley, before
You will
bed.
love
Like,
yourself tomorrow.
exactly. Like, you just have to find what system tricks work for you. Like, it's just like little kids when they're learning like how to spell, they're learning math, right? Like, they're not just sitting there staring at a book doing the same thing over and over again. Like, if they can't get it the first time the way they learned it, they're going to try to learn it a different way. They're going to sing a song. They're going to, do a hands-on activity, right? And us as adults, we have to remember that my biggest pet peeve when people are like, well, they're just children. No, they're just like us. All children are just humans. We're all humans. We have to
Yeah.
remember what works for children works for us. And so maybe it's slowing down, relearning the lesson the way you need it to learn it, right? Retaking in the notes, redoing the things you need to do just like you were in school again.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
It's the truth.
Well, we love you all. Thanks for hanging out with us this Wednesday. I love this episode. I love every episode, and I'm so glad that we get to do this with you all, get to talk to you all. Come back next Wednesday. We're going to keep diving into these topics that like really resonate with us, but also like we're in the beginning of the year. So we really, even though we don't truly believe in the new year, new me, because every day is a chance to be the best of you, we do still want to keep diving into like that type of topic because it's important that we support you through whatever your journey is. But our next episode after this episode is going to be super fun because it's a fun episode. It'll be our 65th episode. So we will see you there for then. So come ready to get to know us in the next episode. And we can't wait to get to know you. Bye-bye, y'all. And
See you next week.
if you are thinking about what should I do with this episode, is there something I can do like journal-wise? Really what Jackie said I think is so important. Like, is this who I want to become? Is this where I'm aligning? And maybe every morning sit down and say, did today bring me closer to who I want to be? Did yesterday bring me closer to who I want to be? What patterns do I need to change? What things do I need to do?
Yeah. And even
Yeah.
having like written down, I have my intention, or not my intentions, what
Mhm.
do I call it? My identity. I have a page that says my identity. Whenever I think of something that I want to do, like who I want to be, I write it down and then I read it every day. And I'm like, okay, like I'm not saying I'm perfect, but like it's so helpful just to keep reminding yourself of like who you want to be and where you want to go.
No one's perfect, but when you work on yourself, you're the best person you can be.
Yep, absolutely.
See you next
Love
Wednesday,
you.
y'all. Take care of yourself. Bye bye.
Thanks for spending time with us today and being part of our Hermit Haven community.
We hope you enjoyed our cozy chat and are inspired to embrace your inner hermit.
Remember, even in the quiet moments, you're never alone on this journey because we are truly all in this together.
So until next time, stay cozy, stay true to yourself, and keep spreading love wherever you go.
Bye for now.
We'll see you next time.